Hi guys, it's Sophie and welcome to Sophie Knits. I have been filming my experience of doing Tour de Fleece this year, which I've really been enjoying. I'm actually here with Whit and my husband at the minute, so apologies, you might have a baby come and pull you off in the back. If you've watched the other two of my videos, you'll know that I've been really poorly through week 1 and week 2 of Tour de Fleece, which is a shame. But we've still got 1 week left, so I'm hoping to get a little bit more spinning in. And I got some new fibre today, because I actually spun through all of my fibre supply. So I thought we could open it up. Okay. Hi, Whit. What's your mama's got? What's your mama got?
What's your mum got?
What's mama got? Have a look. Ooh. Whoa. Look at that. Very nice. You've got lots of food. So that is iced coffee and it's BFL, which is so far my favourite thing to spin.
You're the best fucking llama.
Yeah, well I like spinning the alpaca, but BFL is my favourite. Hi! And then, because this is my first sweater quantity, here is, look at that. Here is the other BFL that I've got. So I'm hoping that these two colours will go together fairly well. The plan is to split this 3 ways, split this 3 ways, and then try and figure out a way to like ply it so I end up with 400 grams worth.
Sorry, what animal is it?
This is a sheep. I replaced Leicester. So yeah, that's my plan. So I've got to do some weighing and some fibre prep before I can start doing anything on this. But that is going to be my first sweater quantity spin, which is very exciting. Catch up with you soon. Hello. It's quite a while later on Saturday, and I have just put into the very unaesthetic nappy bags the fibre. So what I think I'm going to do probably is take some of this upstairs. It's all a little bit unwieldy. But what I've done is I've split the grey BFL into a few different bags. So these are 50 grams or 450 grams. So I'm going to try and end up with 4 skeins. And then in here I have 25 grams. So 25 grams are in these ones. And then the iced coffee one is just shoved in here for the time being. What I'm planning on doing is spinning up each of these 50 grams and then plying with a mix of half of this and half of the iced coffee so that we get it kind of consistent throughout. So I think what I'm going to do is probably put all of this fibre here back upstairs in my fibre stash and just concentrate on spinning through some of the grey initially. So I think I'll tie off these yellow bags and do that just so that I've kind of got a bit of a handle on what's going on, and I'm hoping that having the like variegated one to go with will keep me motivated through the spin. But what I might do if I do get like a little bit bored of just spinning this grey is I know that I can always break into like one of these. I could alternate maybe. But yeah, that's the plan. I think rather than having it all out, because it's quite a lot, this lot can go upstairs. So I'm going to put that one to one side, and that lets me use some of these freezer bags, which is what I prefer to use for these ones. So I think what I'll do is I'll probably put 2 of them into these 25 gram ones, even though I know these are actually 50s. I could do with just getting some more freezer bags if I'm honest. Or if you have any other ways of storing your fibre that you think makes sense rather than like nappy bags, which feel a bit wasteful, because really I can't undo them properly. They are a one and done. Do let me know kind of what you recommend, what you use. But yeah, for now, I think I'll have 2 of those ones in here. And then I might actually put another one upstairs because that will give me 3. Yeah, I think I'll do that. So I think I'll have, come on, close up. I think I'll have 2 of the 50 grams down here, I'll get rid of that one. This one can go upstairs because it's going to take me a while to get through all this. And then this bag I can use for my pre-prepped fibre. I think that sounds like an okay plan. And then I'm left with just a smaller amount of fibre to store downstairs. I'm going to get started on some fibre prep, and I'm watching The Crown. I'm finishing up The Crown, so I'm going to pop some of that on. I need to have a shower as well. I'm a bit sweaty, but I think I just want to do a little bit of spinning first. It is 7:30 and I haven't spun anything yet today, so yeah, excited to get back into it a little bit. So it's been a couple hours, and here's where we are at. I think this is so beautiful, like the subtlety of all the colours coming together. It's just absolutely gorgeous. I love the darker bits to it too. I have spun 50 grams plus. This is what I have left of my next 50 grams. I think because I couldn't spin. I could spin, but I only was able to spin 100 grams for the whole of week 2, and I spent 400 in week 1. I'm a little bit overboard tonight. It's 10:10, and I think I'm going to leave this section here that I haven't spun up yet for tomorrow, and I'm just going to finish off the little bit of pre-drafted fibre I have here. I am kind of curious, like the size of these bobbins is 215. Kind of curious whether I might manage to get all of my grey, like the 200 that we split earlier today, onto one bobbin. Curious about that, because that would mean that I wouldn't have to do anything exciting to be able to ply, because currently I only have 3 bobbins. So what do we think? What I think I'll probably do is maybe see how full it is when I've done 100 grams and then decide. But I just think, isn't that beautiful? So pretty. Yeah, so I'm going to spin up that last little bit of fluff. I am watching some Tour de Fleece content from Rachel is Knitting, and then I am probably going to need to take my next lot of antibiotics and my nighttime meds. But yeah, I've spun loads this evening. So next morning, Wit's asleep, and that's 200 grams of, no, sorry, it's 100 grams? Yeah, it's 100 grams of the plain grey BFL. So I have 2 more like this, and I think they should fit on there without any issue. So I think what I'm going to try and do is just continue spinning through all the grey. I suspect I might maybe finish off the grey today. We'll see how today goes and how this evening goes. But I am starting to feel a bit better, which is so welcome. So yeah, I've been enjoying spinning up this little lot here. I think that when Wit wakes up, I'll probably take him down into town quickly and give his dad a little bit of a break, just because Tom's been doing absolutely everything whilst I've been poorly. But yeah, I have a little bit more time. I'm watching some YouTube. This is Vine. And just listening to her talking about drop spindling whilst I continue spinning on my Ashford. I definitely feel like I'm getting more confident with what I'm spinning up now, and whilst it is still pretty inconsistent, it's nice and fine. So yeah, I'm going to carry on for a little bit, see how far I get through my next 50 grams. Do you want some more banana, darling? There we go. Or do you want porridge? Let me do porridge. No, can you see you? Or is it tomatoes? We're cooking those ones. You want one? You want one? There you go. So it's evening. Now I'm about to start spinning. I have all my fibre prepped. What I ended up doing last night, can't really see through these bags, can you? Is parcelling out some floofs. So what I've tried to do is get these to be all different sizes. So they're all obviously like spinnable lengths, but some of them are quite a lot bigger than others. Like that one's a tiddly tiny one. This one's like quite a substantial one, in the hopes that it will then like meld nicely, because I couldn't actually get two of these. So what I'm doing, I don't know if I've spoken about this already, is having lengths of this followed by lengths of this, so that when I apply them together, hopefully I'll just get a tiny subtle purpleness to my yarn. So what I'm planning on doing is I'm going to empty out all of my floofs onto this one. Not that I think I'm going to necessarily be able to spin. Oh, I can't get them out. Come on, free the floofs. Can't do it. I think 25 grams. Yeah, only 25 grams of the iced latte BFL, and then I'm going to be separating bits of this one out, which I've also separated in this bag, and basically choosing one. I haven't checked there's like the same amount of each. I'm just literally going to go off vibes. So if I end up with like 2 of those in a row, that's fine. I haven't like prepped everything, but yeah, I'm hoping this is going to be good fun to just grab and go. So here's my grey here, and here's my purple here, and then I have a whole bag of fibre here to do the same two afterwards, but I'm not going to get anywhere near that lot today. So this bobbin is being propped slightly oddly, but I just wanted to try and show you the purples that are running through this. It's very subtle. I think it's going to be even more subtle once it's plied, but it's really lovely. So you can tell the grey and then the iced coffee running through there. I think this is going to be so pretty. So that's 50 grams spun up tonight, and that is all I'm going to spin today. I fancy having a bit of a lighter day of it today. Not sure why, just think I'm enjoying knitting, and want to do a little more knitting tonight. So yeah, I'm really happy with that, and I'll check in with you guys tomorrow. Morning. It is Wednesday, so we've only got a few days left of Tour de Fleece. I am going to head out with the little one for a little bit. We have just had a little bit of like dedicated time with one another over the last few days, and I need to get out of the house a bit. I also have been in the house loads because I was so poorly through my week off, and then I've been poorly this last week, and I'm just getting a bit itchy feet to go out and do something. He's still not very well. I don't know if I'd said that he's not very well now, but I'm hoping that he'll be okay. So I think we're going to jump in the car and go to my local yarn store. I really don't need any yarn, so we'll see how I do. But I want to just have a little wander around, have a look at some stuff, maybe look for Surrey Nordland's new book and have a look at the fibre. So that's what I'm going to do, mostly just to get us out of the house for a bit, and it's one of the things I wanted to do in my week off, but I was too poorly, so I'm going to get ourselves ready to go and head out there now. Hello, we're back. It's a little while later. I thought I'd just show you what we've got. So I've come back, I've had therapy, Wit's asleep, I've just had a shower, Tom's home. But I picked up 2 balls of this Rowan Kid Silk Haze. I don't know what this is, the shade is 00612, but it was like the lightest, brightest white that they had. And I just got 2 balls of that, and I know I said I wasn't going to get any yarn. But I got 2 of these because I have some yarn that I bought from, was it Botanical Yarns? Not sure. There's some yarn that I bought that is white with some blue flecked through it, that I'm planning on making a vest with. And I think I want a bit of floof to the vest, and I might have to play around with the pattern because the pattern that I've chosen is just floof. So I'm going to end up with a DK, and I think they use a fingering. But I might have to try and do some pattern math because I really want to try and make that pattern to see whether I can or not. But if not, I know I love this mohair. It's so good. It's mohair and silk, 30% silk, 70% mohair, and it just makes it so soft. I think I may have used it in the white before for my oh gosh, sweater number 29, I want to say. But I just thought the white would be really nice. I thought about doing the blue, but I thought actually I quite like how the blue in the yarn I've got, it's Blue Ferns yarns, that's who it is. I quite like how that yarn, the blue, kind of shimmers through, and I just thought I want to keep the blue. Little one is trying to go to sleep. Keep the blue as the speckly colour. So I went for the white. Then they didn't have Surrey Nordland's book in, though I thought I had seen it before. But I had a little look through fibres, and I really, really looked at silk for a really long time. It's a bit crinkly, sorry. But I didn't end up going for silk. I ended up picking up 100 grams of these merino sort of minis. So soft. So this colour was one I also looked at with a mix of that one and silk. And then this little green one here. And then like quite bright red. And a light pink. So these should be 25 grams each. And I actually think these 2 together could be really fun to spin and then ply. And I think these 2 could be really fun to spin and ply, a little pink and red action, and a little bit of green and orange. And I just thought it would be a good introduction to merino, and I quite like the idea of spinning like some little tiddly tiny little amounts of stuff. I thought that was quite fun. Then the lady who owns the shop was so kind. It was running around and being a 1-year-old and being trouble and climbing into fibre. And she gave him a little bag of floof. And I drew him the little sheep. So we made a little sheep together, which was a fun little activity to do. I'm not sure if he's going to go down, if I'm honest. He is really tired, rubbing his eyes and stuff, but doesn't sound very promising at the minute. I was hoping to get a tiny bit of spinning done. I've still got all this fibre left of this spin. Let's see if you can see. That's the purple together with the grey, and that's a single. So I have 100 grams left, 50 of the grey and 50 of the purple. And then I have this amount left over to spin. I might even have more actually. Hang on. Yeah, no, I have more. I think I'm probably only like a third of the way through this spin because I also have this much left of my second 50 grams. So I probably spun like 60 grams maybe. So we'll see whether he gets any other sleep. I'm going to let him have at least 10 minutes to try. So I'm going to try and do 10 minutes of spinning at least. And if not, then I'll get to do some later on tonight. And then dinner is just super easy today. We had a tomato, mozzarella and basil tart for lunch and he hated it. I got it from the deli close to where my local yarn store is, thinking he'd really like it because he likes all of the combination of those things, but absolutely not. So he just basically had his bread and butter and tomato and cucumber for lunch, as well as like his normal pudding. So yeah, he's going to be hungry tonight. So mac and cheese is like his favourite. So I know that then he'll eat tonight. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to try and get 10 minutes of spinning done. So I've just finished spinning up half of what's left of my fibre. So that is the other half down there. And I've just realised that because I'm basically filling up whole bobbins and I only have 3, I'm not going to be able to get all the plying done in one go anyway. So I think just to give myself a bit of a break, I'm going to pop my fibre away that I haven't yet spun and try and ply up. I don't know whether I'll manage. Got a few pigtails where I've just stopped, but whether I'll manage to ply all of that or whether this is actually already too much on there. But I thought I'd ply a full bobbin and that would be a nice sort of thing to do. It's been about an hour, so I've been spinning for about an hour, and I think that would motivate me because I'd really like to try and finish this spin in Tour de Fleece if I possibly can. I think that would be really nice, like I said, to get all the singles spun up, and I think having one skein of finished yarn would feel good. I think that would be good. So yeah, I'm going to pop this lot away and then join me as I do a little bit of plying.
After her disappearance. Why don't we go through the features that the experts have picked out? What they do is they measure things that don't change in time. And you can see the cheekbones here that have some similarity. Now look at her.
And an hour and a half later, we have a full bobbin. I don't think I can squeeze much more on here, so I'm going to take this one off, wrap it with my niddy noddy, and yeah, that'll be it for tonight. It's 20 to 10, so I'm hoping I can get this on the niddy noddy within about 20 minutes. I'm not terribly happy with how even this is. I think I've struggled going from like the purple fibre back to the grey and trying to get the consistency whilst I'm changing between 2 fibres. So I think that's maybe a learning point for me, that it feels like I can probably manage to spin 2 things separately to about the same diameter and then ply them, but swapping fibres so frequently I don't think is working very well, but that's fine. I like how it's come out. It's kind of mostly grey with just a few purpley tints, so see what it looks like skeined up.
Kind of copper burnt orange, this grayish, almost blue. I love the colors. I thought that a fractal spin would be the best way to really push those colors to the max.
Here she is, my massive chunky skein. I'm actually really happy with this. It's way softer than anything else I've managed to spin up yet. which I think may just be my practice. And I think you can just about see some purple poking through there in a really subtle way. And I don't mind too much that, yes, it is quite uneven. It's definitely like, particularly the, seems to be the purple actually that I was struggling to draft consistently. Like there's a fair few bits, isn't there, where that you can tell that the larger portion is actually that purple, and it's not happening so much with the grey. It is that purple that's tending to come out a bit thicker. So yeah, kind of a lesson to learn, but I'm pretty happy with this. I think it's very pretty. So I'm going to say goodbye for this video, and I'll see you guys maybe tomorrow, hopefully tomorrow, because I've got 100 grams, is that right, left to spin. It's Thursday, it's crunch time. We're at the wheel. It is 4:30 and I have probably half an hour to spin. We're gonna get on it because we're asleep. I've just prepped like a tiny little bit of fibre here, just enough to spin through, and I'm starting on my last 100 grams. So I've plied up 200 grams worth. I have 100 that spun. We have 100 left. I want to try and do 50 today, 50 tomorrow, so that we could be done. So yes, wish me luck. I'm going to get on it. So I just thought I'd update quickly. That's how far through I am. I have this much left to spin up of my first 50 grams. And I think if I do finish that tonight, I'm going to pre-prep the fibre, but I'm not actually going to spin anymore. It's 8:10, just because I feel like knitting a bit tonight, if I'm honest. And I think that's okay to like honour that feeling. Yeah, so just that little bit left to spin, probably going to take me another half an hour, 45 minutes maybe. And then I'm actually going to weigh what I have on here, because this is already looking like there's more on this bobbin than there is on the one next door. So I might just have to do a little bit of careful weighing with the fibre I have left. So I have 2 bags left, so 50 grams left. But yeah, so I think that's what I'm going to do tonight. Hello, it's Saturday and I'm flying. I just thought I'd check in and say hello. I'm just having a bit of a like day of it today. So woke up at 7:30, fine, we had a nice morning, and then I went to put him down at 11 and he still has a bad tummy, and he woke up within half an hour, like bless him, just pickled. So I had to get him sorted, and by the time I got him all sorted, he didn't want to go back down at all. He'd only had like 25 minutes, half an hour if that. So we decided to go out and do the food shop because I needed to do that, and I'm on call tomorrow. And he just cried like for pretty much like an hour and a half, nearly 2 hours, all the way around the supermarket, all the way through packing, all the way back in the car. I ended up stopping the car and feeding him in the car because it just was like, he was so upset. So he went down here at 1:30, So normally he'd sleep from like 11 until half 12, so really late for him. He's been down for about an hour now, and I've just been like obviously sorting out the shopping, but then like just recovering a little bit. Before I talk to you guys, just because it is really stressful, especially when you're out in public and your baby's really upset, because people are really nice, but like people obviously look and sort of are chatting about you and stuff, and yeah, I don't always find that the easiest, but bless him. So yeah, I'm just plying up my last piece of BFL, and this is going to be my last thing, I think, that I spin and Tour de Fleece. So I'm going to apply this one all up, and I think I'm going to run the other skein through the wheel one more time and tighten up the ply. So I think I'm going to do that later tonight, and then I can get these all washed hopefully tonight, maybe to dry in time for tomorrow. But yeah, so I'm not planning on doing very much else. I'm just having a chill time. I'm watching Karen's Corner. She put up a video, I love these videos, of her destashing for like, what was it, 3 hours plus. So I'm only 15 minutes in, because as I said, I just took a minute before updating you guys. But yeah, so I'm just gonna sit here, do some flying, watch her, chat to you a bit.
Originally for my Christmas, but it was just a lot browner than it looks on the website, so it didn't turn out.
So I have got as much yarn as I feel like I reasonably can onto this bobbin. I still have a little bit left. I really nearly thought we were gonna make it, but we didn't quite get it on. I'm really happy with this. I think this is probably my best spin of Tour de Fleece, which yeah, feels great that I've been improving through the weeks. I'm going to take this one off, let it rest for a little bit, and I think probably do a little bit of yarn like admin. So I want to have a look at what I've spun through the tour. I want to check if any of them I want to run through and just put a little bit more ply in, because I posted in a Facebook chat for beginner spinners and people agreed that I'm underplying everything a bit too much. So I'm just gonna have a look and see what I want to do. I probably won't reply everything, but I want to just check and see what I'm happy with and what I think could do with another run through. Then I'm going to like just make sure that I've washed everything enough, because I also found out that washing your yarn, you should have it slightly warm, like bath temperature warm is how it's described, and I've definitely been doing it cold. So I'm gonna soak it for longer and soak it hotter. Yeah, so that's what I'm gonna do, I think, is some yarn admin. I'm also gonna try and get that one onto a ball winder so that I have a cake with two ends that I can then pull and ply to get my last bit of this yarn, my first garment spin. So yeah, lots of little yarn admin. Whit's still asleep. He's going to be asleep for probably about another 15 minutes, I would say. Tom's also asleep. So yeah, it's just me that's up. I'm going to see what I can do in the next sort of 15 minutes or so. But I'm feeling really happy with that one. Okay, I think we're just going to do some assessing, because I don't think it's actually as bad as I thought it was. So this skein here, which is the Rhubarbs and Cream by Loom, which is my last drop spindle spin, I'm really happy with. I don't think I want to do anything different to this. I think that that looks really pretty. That was my first time trying any kind of colour management, and I'm happy with the yarn. I think it's nice. I also have these like scrappy bits of the same yarn fibre, which, looking at them now, I think I might just say goodbye to, whilst like they potentially could have use. The reason that these kept splitting was because I had the plying tension set completely wrong. So I think, like, knowing what I know now, I'm gonna get rid of these because they're just gonna be like so variable. Like parts of it I think are like already falling apart. Like you can see, you see there how that's just completely coming apart, and other parts are really tightly twisted. So I don't think there's anything else I want to do with those. I think those ones, while spun on Tour de Fleece, can be good practice. Then the next one that I wanted to look at was this one, which was my feather spin. And now This one I do think is underplied slightly. Sorry, did I say it's my first one on the e-spinner? But I actually don't think I want to go to the trouble of undoing this and trying to add a little bit more ply. I don't think the yarn is that badly balanced. Let's see. Yeah, no, so that looks fine. So I think on balance of it, the effort that it would take to like pass that all the way through the e-spinner again and what it actually is, I don't think it's worth it. I think that it's okay as it is, and I think, yeah, sometimes in my head I think I kind of stress myself out that things are worse than they are, but I actually think she's okay. Like the little scraggly bits that, if you remember from, I think it was episode 1, where Tom thwacked it a bit enthusiastically, but I am going to leave this one as well. Then my alpaca, I think this is like objectively one of the better, like more consistent spins of the tour, but I don't think she's been soaked enough. It still feels a bit like it's been freshly spun. And I only soaked this one in cold water for 15 minutes. So I think this one I am going to re-soak. It just doesn't feel quite right yet. And I might do some tension when I hang it. So that one I am going to do something with. Then this one was the Rhodolite, and this was my second spin on the e-spinner. Similarly, I think this one is a bit underplied. I think the yarn is kind of balanced. Let's see. Yeah, it's hanging fine, isn't it? But I think it could do with another better wash. I feel like it's still, I think maybe it's just one of those things, you feel it more than like you wouldn't know it unless you've done it a few times. But I think it feels like it needs some more relaxing. So yeah, I think I'm going to also re-soak this one for a bit longer and in some warmer water. I am going to look it up because I'm so scared of like felting stuff that I generally just use cold for everything, and I think that possibly is what's causing that like not quite relaxed feeling. So these two I don't want to do anything to, they're going to stay just as they are. Then this is the other half of the spin that I've just been plying, and I'm a bit torn about this one. So this isn't set yet, this twist isn't set, and I do think it could do with a bit more ply in places. I've not actually tried to ply something that's already been plied, and it's quite a lot obviously to put through the wheel again, but I think I might be happier with it if I do. So I think that's the outcome. Is I think this one, once I've finished doing everything I need to do with the first half, I am going to run that through again. These two I'm going to wash and try and get them just a little bit more relaxed. These two in here are going to stay just as they are, and my little scrappy bits are going to go. I also did spin the other 50 grams of this one. I've actually cast something on already, so I'll grab it for you. So because I think it is useful to knit with stuff, like everybody keeps saying, like knit with what you've spun and you'll learn way more than you will do from like getting rid and not thinking about it. So I did actually cast on just a little bit of ribbing. I'm just thinking about making this into a little hat, nothing major, nothing like serious. What on earth has happened there? I don't know. Did I rejoin? Maybe I rejoined. Yeah, it looks like I've rejoined the yarn there. But yeah, so this one was the first from the drop spindle, and this is causing issues to knit with the amount of underplied it is. So I actually think I'm also, if I get time, I'm actually going to try and pass this one through the e-spinner. This was my first time properly plying on anything, so I'm not surprised. But if you kind of, like if I just try and show you a strand, the camera's not always great at focusing up this close, but can you see how the two strands are actually separate? Like one is just lying on top of the other. Don't know whether that's easy enough to see, but it's like between my fingers there's only one crossover. So this is definitely like two underplied. So I think this would benefit from being plied a bit tighter, particularly because I think This one, the plying looks much better when I've just had a little bit more practice. I don't think I'm gonna like frog off what I've got though. I think I'm gonna keep what I've got because I kind of like the idea of it. It's gonna be different throughout because that one's all barber poled, this one won't be barber poled. This twist is never gonna match that twist, but this will be my first knitted object from a hand spun. And I kind of like the idea of it being quite imperfect. So I think what I'm gonna do is probably just break this and then try and run it through and apply it a bit tighter. So we have these two yarns that I'm going to try and add a little bit more ply to. We have these little scraps that in reality I don't think I can fix to be workable. We have these two that are going to have another wash and these two that are going to stay as they are. So I think let's go wash. Let's go do some washing. Let's throw these things away. And yeah, this is why I wanted to have, like, when I knew there was an extra day, why I wanted to have some like yarn admin time at the end, because I think this for me is what makes the difference between me seeing this as like my stash and seeing this as like, oh, that's a whole different thing I did. When I feel like the yarn's been finished properly, then I'm much more likely to grab it and knit from it. So yeah, those are the two that we're not fiddling with, and these two, let's go and give a bath. So I just wanted to do a really quick update before I head to bed. I did end up running this one through and adding a little bit more plying twist to it. It's a little bit squiggly because it's not yet been washed and soaked and relaxed. But I do think that looks like it's actually going to hold together, whereas it really wasn't when I was knitting with it. So yeah, sorted that one out. Then I finished plying this one. I think I showed you this one. Also not yet washed, but really happy with this one. I think the purples look lovely in this one. And then I ran this one back through the wheel on a pretty low speed and just added a little bit more twist to certain parts of it. So I think hopefully that looks a little bit more even in terms of the twist. There's still like a few bits toward the end where it's not, but I think that looks a bit better, and hopefully a bit more similar in twist to one another. Yeah, I don't think they look too bad. I think you can see the twist better on this one because for some reason the purple's kind of coming through a bit more. I think if I knit these two in one project, which I'm planning on, I'm going to need to alternate skeins because for whatever reason the purple's just popping off in this one, which doesn't really make sense because I split them lengthways, but like the purple I split lengthways, but anyway. Whereas I think like the purpley bits here are much more subtle. So yeah, those are what I've done tonight. So all I have left for the tour, but it is like 10:30, so we're stopping, is just sorting out plying these. And I'm torn between trying to make a centre pull cake and being able to pull the middle and the end, and plying off like what's left on this one, which I would have done, but I literally ran out of room on my bobbin with some of this, and then make a plying bracelet or make a centre pull bobbin from what's left. So I have a couple of options, but yeah, that's kind of been on my tricky list, and it was hard to do whilst Tom and I were together. We just watched a film together, which was okay. It wasn't amazing, but it was okay. It was really nice to hang out. So yeah, that's my last little challenge of Tour de Fleece. I was hoping to have had these ones washed tonight, but it's just a bit late to soak them for as long as they'll need, so I'll do that tomorrow. I'll sort this out tomorrow. Good morning. It's Monday morning. Tour de Fleece has finished, and I've just been waiting for all my skeins to dry to be able to show you where we're at. So yeah, I'm just going to show you where we got to with the final bits of plying, the washing, the yarn admin. I'm probably going to make a separate video just showing you everything that I made, but I just wanted to show the portion I have here that we fiddled with. So this here and this one is my spin of my BFL with the iced coffee BFL. I ended up, so obviously I plied and washed this skein, Try and see if I pull it back a little bit whether the lighting's better. I think that might be a bit better. So yeah, so that is the second spin. I then also replied parts of this spin just to bring the plying consistency of the two to be a little bit more consistent. I hope that feels a bit more consistent. And this little tiny skein, which dried a bit quicker, was just what was left, and I learned how to do bracelet plying, Andean bracelet plying, to use up the very end of this one. So yeah, feeling really happy with what I achieved with these. A lot of yarn. I'm hoping that we get a good slip over or maybe even a cardigan out of these ones. Then this one here is the Road Light that I spun quite early on in Tour de Fleece. And this one I just gave a proper wash, and it has definitely puffed up a bit more from its first wash, where I just don't think I soaked it well enough. Sorry, my cat is trying to nest in that wool. So I definitely think that this feels like it's relaxed more fully. So I'm happy with that one. And I also re-washed the alpaca that was just feeling a little bit scratchier. It's much softer now, so it's still hairy, and I think I struggle a little bit with the hairiness of alpaca, but the skein is way softer. This feels so much better than it did. I don't think that it's changed in diameter that much. I just think it's relaxed a little bit more. And then the last one that we played with on Sunday was this little one here, which was my first thing I spun actually in Tour de Fleece on a spindle. And this one, we just needed a little bit of tighter plying. So I did the same as I did for the the larger spin, in that I ran this through my wheel and like a high take up, and just added a little bit more ply to certain elements of it. And this one definitely needed it, because when I tried knitting with it, it was actually falling apart. So yeah, I'm really happy with all of my spinning. I think I've done such a good job, and I'm feeling really inspired to continue to spin and experiment. I think the next bit for me is going to be some like colour management, which is really exciting. I've been learning a bit about that whilst I'm in like a bit of a rest period, having spun a lot, and I want to get a bit of knitting through first. But yeah, I think I've really enjoyed Tour de Fleece way more than I thought I would. I think I thought it was going to be like a few minutes a day, and I've done like hours a day. I feel like I've spun up so much yarn. I've actually had to buy, I think they're coming today, I've actually had to buy some new storage containers to store my hand spun. So yeah, Tom will probably have views on that. He's so accommodating, bless him. But yes, so I feel like I've done a really good job, and I hope you've enjoyed watching all of this content and seeing me learn as a baby spinner how to kind of start along that journey. Let me know down below if you participated in Tour de Fleece. How much did you spin, like by length or time or number of skeins? And what's your favourite spin? Yeah, that'd be great. I'll see you guys again soon in my next video, and look after yourselves until then. Bye.